school students and university students as well. So first of all, I would like to introduce our panelists for today, and we'll have a chit chat first. Okay. First, we'll go on with Ms. Sakinah binti Muhammad Isa. She
Yes.
is a second year sponsored student of Yayasan Tenaga Nasional. Wow, great to hear that.
Thank you.
Okay, we would like to know more about you. Can you tell us something more interesting about you, please?
Something interesting about me.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes?
I actually didn't prepare for this, so this is actually ad hoc. So my name is Sakinah. You can call me Sakinah. Studying in University of Manchester, United Kingdom. I'm doing degree in economics, and I would say something interesting about me is that I'm always interested in making changes in the world, whether it's small impact or big impact, and like this is actually a very good opportunity for me to do that. And I would like to thank Mr. Safwan and LBSTK for this opportunity.
Thank you so much, Ms. Sakina. And next, we are going to know about Ms. Kaanchana. Her
Hi,
name
Sarah.
is Ms. Kaanchana Rika Kumar. Hi. And she's a high school student and a member of Student Leaders Board. So, tell me about yourself. Tell us about yourself.
I'm a student from SMK Sultan Ibrahim Kulai, and I'm currently studying Form 4. And something interesting about myself is maybe I like to spread awareness and positivity around me, and I like to make others feel better. By doing this, I hope that people around me will feel more positive and be more confident about themselves. Thank you.
Great. Thank you. And next, we'll go on with Ms. Asmiatul Nur Alia Hanafi. Hi, Miss.
Yes. Hi, can you hear me clearly? Not really.
Yes, we can hear you clearly.
Okay.
So,
So,
can I address you as Miss Allia?
yes, sure.
Thank you. She is a 21 years old student and currently majoring in Bachelor of Education TESOL, right?
Yes. Yes.
Okay. Miss, what is something that interesting in yourself?
So hi everyone. So as you've heard just now, I'm currently majoring in TESOL in UPM, and I used to go to school in suburban area. So you can see that I've experienced life in two totally different places compared, of course, Kuala Lumpur compared to this small town Bagan Serai, right? So other than that, other than studying and trying to get a degree, I also sell desserts on Cravings by Allia, which I'm very proud of. So I'm just going to tell that. So don't forget to follow me there, okay?
Great. Thank you, Miss. And last but not least, we have Mr. Paarveen Analaki Ravindran. Hi, Mr. Paarveen.
Hi, Sarah.
So he's a high school student and the chairman of Student Leaders Board in SMK Bandar Tianam Kluang. So, Mr. Paarveen, tell us about yourself.
So I'm Paarveen, as Sarah said. I'm a chairman of SLB in SMK Banatinam, and I'm also the member of District Student Leaders Board. Yes, also with Sarah Vendiran. And my goal is want to change the way the school teaches the students, because most school they focus on their education, but they do not tell their students to be more confident to talk in front of the crowds or solving their problems by themselves. So that's all.
Thank you, Mr. Paarveen. So, for the viewers, if you don't know what are we going to talk about today, it's just about the confidence is the key to end the body shaming. So, as we all know, the world is right now facing a lot of criticism and like body shaming, racism, and everything. So, we are just taking one of the parts, which is body shaming, and we are going to discuss and give out our opinions on this. So, I would like to ask a common question for all the four panelists, which is, what do you think body shaming is? Like, what is your opinion on body shaming? Yeah, anyone can answer.
Answer first, anyone? So I will go first, maybe.
Okay.
Okay. So I will go first.
Yeah.
what I think of body shaming is an idea that people judging other people mainly for their physical features. If their face are full of pimples, if they are fat, too skinny, for their physical features. That's my understanding about body shaming.
I'll
Great,
go
Mr.
next,
Paarveen.
please.
And okay, sure.
To me, body shaming is an action or practice of humiliating someone or an individual or making critical comments about their body, also about their physical appearance. And I think body shaming is really bad because it actually affects the victims really deeply and
Mhm.
it will make them feel bad about themselves.
Correct. True. And how about Miss Sakinah?
All right, I think Mr. Paarveen and Ms. Kaanchana have already given the literal meaning of body shaming. And adding to that, I would say that criticisms that we often see nowadays happen on internet, and this sometimes come sadly from our own friends and family. And even worse, we can also see this happening when we make public opinions on Twitter or Instagram, and we get this from strangers as well. Yeah.
And
True.
for me,
And Miss Allia, do you want to add something?
yes, I totally agree with everyone. Sure, everything is correct, but for me personally, I think body shaming is what enables people to make beauty standard become realistic when it's actually unrealistic. It becomes an enabler to that.
True. That's totally true. And all of the points that our panelists gave is actually true about this body shaming, which is just people are humiliating others by their physical appearance, whether it can be their body size, it can be their face, it can be their nose, or anything.
True.
So, next question. And Miss Kaanchana, why do you think people body shame others? Like, why do they do this?
This question, actually, to be honest, I am actually a victim of body shaming too. I also have been body shamed by maybe my families, my friends. I have been body shamed too, so I know the feeling of that. So I think the main reason why people body shame is because maybe they just think that you are not as perfect as them. For example, maybe someone could be just walking and the bully would just say like, wow, why are you wearing like that, or why are you walking like that, just by criticizing this just because they think that you are not as perfect as them and you don't look good in their eyes. So I think this is the main reason why most people body shames and make others feel bad about themselves.
Yes, that's very true. And Miss Sakina, do you want to add something like about this opinion?
Yeah, I think it happens more often in our society is because we grow up normalizing this. We grow up thinking that it is okay to make remarks on other people's body size, shape, appearance, or skin color. We think that it doesn't affect the people's feelings or mental health or confidence. We think that it's jokes and like this is normalized. And I think it is time for us to denormalize this and to spread awareness about this. And this comes down to us and the media as well. The media has to portray what is the standards, what are the unrealistic standards, because this comes down purely to social media and society. And the narrative that we have today is what we have learned throughout our entire life. And people should stop using this as marketing tools, such as whitening products, how you can reduce weight in a week, in a month, things like that. Um, and this is something that we should talk about. And yeah, it might be uncomfortable, but this will steer into the right direction.
True.
Yeah.
This might be uncomfortable, but we have to talk about it because we want something to change in our society because most of us are thinking that it is okay to body shame. It is like we are just doing a joke, but we actually don't know how it hurts the victim and how it changes their mental health.
Yeah.
And
Hi.
Mr. Paarveen,
Yes.
how do the victims react to this situation? Like when someone is body shamed, how do the victim react, and how to actually react to this?
Okay. So how they react is they react by body shaming the other person back, because that's the
Mm-hmm.
usual reaction they will give, because
True.
because one equals one. If they tell you that you are fat, blah 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 blah, then they will tell you back, oh, your face looks like this and this. So how should you react is silence is the best weapon, but we can't keep silence um, every 24/7 if people were body shaming us. So my tips is by telling them it's you are proud of being like that. You're not ashamed.
True.
Show them you are unaffected by the comments, because they body shame you so they can get a reaction from you that will make them feel puas, rasa puas kalau dia
Hmm.
marah, kan? So kita kena silence. We have to keep calm, and they will feel the hurt. That's all.
True. And Miss Alia, what do you think about this question? Like, how do the victims react, and how to actually react to this?
As a victim myself, throughout
Mm-hmm.
the years actually, I used to respond by, you know, doing one-on-one thingy, just scold them back, call them back. And I found that that's what actually fits their ego. They want that. So then I started to just laugh it off, which is not a very good way. But if you are the type who doesn't like to talk back, you can do that. You can just laugh it off. But if you are brave enough, I think it's time for people to just call them out. Just tell them that it's not okay. You also have your own flaws. You wouldn't like it if people call you by names, by your flaws. So why would you do something that you don't like to other people? But that's kind of impossible because like Miss Sakinah said, that is very uncomfortable to talk in public, and especially those people who call you names are often your close friends and family. It will be weird if you call out your own family members, right? But it's time
Mhm.
for the media first to take part in making this thing into a reality. The general public first have to stop discriminating people of sizes, color, and whatever weird beauty standard is out there, so that we can, in general, not react to it because nobody shaming will happen. But as for now, you can just call them out in the most polite way as possible. Thank
That's
Excuse
very
me,
you.
Miss
true
Alia, can
because
I elaborate on your point?
Sure, Kaanchana?
To me, if this question is asked to me, if you ask me how people usually react to body shaming, I think these days people react by actually feeling the hurtful comments. Like they will start going back home and they'll start thinking like, oh my God, am I really like that? Am I really as bad as how they say I am? So to me, if I were body shame, I would also feel like that because I, as a victim, I have also gone through this, and usually I feel that too. But how should we react? I think we should react by, first of all, we should have self confidence, and we can also practice positive talking. Like when we can stand in front of the mirror and we can practice self positive talk, we can tell ourselves that we are beautiful and we should love our body the way it is. So, this way, we can have more self confidence, and our self esteem will also rise.
yes, I would like to tell you guys a simple example of that because I actually have been body shamed. Actually, body shaming is not only the people who criticize your body shape. It's not like that. It is when someone comment on your physical, which can be your skin color as well. As I am a dark skinned person, and actually I've been like criticized all of the time, and I used to go down to the deep, and I will think like, why do people think that black is not beautiful, right? So what I did was actually, as Miss Kaanchana said, I looked into the mirror and I said, black is beautiful. right? And yeah, the self-confidence will rise in you because that self-confidence is what you want to fight this. And
I
there's a common question again. There's a common question again, like how to build up this self-confidence to overcome this problem. Like some people will see the mirror and talk to themselves, or some people will seek for help. Like what is the actual way to do this?
Okay, can I start? If that's okay with the other speakers?
Yes.
okay,
Thank
sure.
you.
All right. I think first off, we should start it with ourselves. Like what Miss Kaanchana said, talking to yourself in the mirror is one of the ways. Another thing that I think we should do is to constantly remind ourselves that no one should ever tell you how to dress, that no one deserves to tell you how you have to behave, how you have to dress, and how you have to look like. Remember that what society wants from you won't make you whole. What will make you whole is what you want from yourself and how you want to decide this happen. The amount of skin you decide to expose is your choice. No one should tell you otherwise. And this is the first thing that we can do is ourselves. But this comes with strong support from our friends, from our family, and the people around us. And we have to be the one contributing to this. We have to be responsible to this. We have to stop doing whatever that we have done before by calling people fat, by skinny shaming, fat shaming. Those are just example. There are so many kinds of other shaming that we can see. We have to make people feel they are beautiful without being at someone else's expense. And we have to emphasize on the importance of being beautiful on the inside and not on the outside. Yeah. I think we can build confidence through that.
That is very true, Ms. Sakinah. Yes, definitely we can build confidence through like we decide who we want to be. Isn't that what you want to tell us? Right. Okay. Any other panelists have opinions on this?
Can
Like
I
how to build up the confidence?
elaborate to Miss
Sure.
Sakinah?
Sure, madam.
Okay, like Miss Sakinah said, you are the one who decide how you will appear in public or what you want to wear or how many skin you should show to other people. And I think that's true and that's great. You have to use a lot of energy to be able to do that. And for me myself, I often realize that people body shame or whatever other kind of shame that could be shame out there comes from something that is from natural causes, something you cannot change. It's impossible to change your skin color. If you can change it, means that you have enough melanin to do so. Or if you're fat, you can be skinny or something like that. But for me, personally, I used to be chubbier than this. Although I'm already chubby and cute right now, I used to be a lot chubbier. And then when I lose fat, I lose until 10 kilograms or so. People still come at me and tell me, you can lose more. You can be more skinny or you're still fat. When you walk, the ground is still shaking, stuff like that. And then it comes to realization that the only love that you should have for yourself is from yourself. If you love yourself, and that will be enough. You don't need anyone else to tell you how you should look. Or people will love you because you're fat. You will get a boyfriend because you're fat. And then the person who sees that is also single. Like, kesian, right? So just love yourself. And I think other things should be okay. Everyone else will be quite irrelevant. I think that's the best for me lah.
Yes, true. That's very true. Like people always comment on something on us. Like even they are not realizing that they have it too, but they will comment on us as well. But the best way to reply that is just silence. And Mr. Paarveen, do you have anything to add on?
On the confidence?
Yes.
Oh, okay. So my opinion on that is tell yourself that you are strong. Tell yourself the opposite. The way that other people body shaming you. If they are telling you're fat, tell yourself that you are you are very beautiful even though you are fat. But don't body shame yourself. We also overthink ourselves by body shaming ourselves other than other people. By, oh, I'm fat, then we try to gain down the weight, but we become more fatter. So that's the thing. And I want to add for the point before, how they react. Another way they react is they post on social media. They tell everyone about how their friends body shame the person, and they'll post it on Twitter, so they will get retweets and likes. And some of them will support, some of them will make them more hurtful. That's all. Sarah.
I think Sarah's internet is lagging.
Sarah.
Yeah, I think it's a connection problem with Sarah, so probably I have to meddle in. So I think while waiting for Sarah to reconnect back to the chat, so let's just go through to the chat section because I believe there are a few questions there. I will skip my questions later, but let's go through Miss Olivia. Miss Olivia posted saying something like, the first one, when you love someone, you accept that particular person for who they are and how they look like, and accepting the fact that they are chubby or fat. And the second one is when you love someone. Okay, let's go for the first one. When you love someone, you
Hi,
accept
I'm
the
back.
particular person for who they are. Hi, welcome back, Mr. Sarah. I just following through. Question number one, when you love someone, you accept that particular person for who they are and how they look like, accepting the fact that they are chubby. And what do you think about that? Anyone?
Hi, sir.
When you love someone, you
I
tell
think
them that.
I think I would like to answer the second question.
Okay, what's your
Which is
experience in it?
kind of what? Which kind of related to the first question as well.
Okay.
So like the second question says that we should tell someone if they are gaining too much weight or something for themselves. So I think in the first question, Miss Olivian asked, when you love someone, you accept that particular person. If you love someone, of course you want them to be healthy, right? So it's not body shaming to tell them that they are gaining fat, so they need to lose a little bit of weight. That is an action of love and care. That's totally different from body shaming. Body shaming is a form of humiliation, but telling someone that they need to change for the sake of themselves in a mannered way, in a polite way, is a form of love. So there's a super duper thin line that our society cannot differentiate, which they took humiliating as a form of motivation to tell someone that they need to lose weight, so on and so forth. But actually, it's not wrong. It's not wrong at all if someone come and tell me I need to lose weight because I'm getting obese. I would totally accept that. But if someone come to me and say, you are so fat and then blah 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 blah, I don't think I will react okay. So Miss Olivian, it's true that you would accept someone the way they are if you love them, but because you love them, you have to play a special role, take a responsibility to make sure the person that you love and accept is in a good health condition because you want them to be around you for a long time. So don't be afraid or think that telling them that they need to do that is a form of body shaming because it's not. You're doing great. Okay.
Can I elaborate on Miss
That's actually
Allia's
great.
point?
Yes.
So I think
Yes, sure.
just now what Miss Allia said, that if someone loves you, you accept if someone loves you, that you will accept the particular person for who they are and how they look like. So I totally agree on this point, because if you love someone, you shouldn't like criticize them or tell them negative comments like you look fat or your hair is too thin or you have too many scars on your body. So I think if you love someone, this usually goes for parents and friends who actually love their friends and their children. So you should accept them the way they are. You should tell them that you are beautiful, and you shouldn't like criticize them more, because they will be taking more negativity into them, because the society is already criticizing them for the
Kaanchana,
way
you
they
there?
are. So if you really love someone, you should always accept them and tell them that they are perfect.
Okay.
Miss Olivia Lin, I saw your chat. You asked if even if they are fat and obese. This is something that I learned from someone. Do you know that the BMI that we learned in school,
Yep,
the
that's
scale
very
BMI
true.
scale, yeah,
And
that's
I totally agree on Miss Kaanchana and Miss Allia's point, which is
I think Sarah, your internet connection is lagging. Alia, you proceed first.
should I continue first? Or the BMI scale that we learn in school is not actually accurate. Everyone have different kerangka badan, body build. So what is normal for you,
I'm sorry for that.
normal in BMI could be not normal to others. So don't think yourself as obese or fat, because how your body looks like, even if it's not in the scale that you wanted, does not mean that you are not healthy. Okay, Miss Olivia?
Hi, can I speak on this topic?
Sure, Oli.
All
Hi,
right.
good to see you.
So, hi. What I actually meant is not that your BMI count is above average. What I actually meant is when you are physically fat, like you look fat, you look chubbier in pictures. You have this bigger and wider shoulder, which makes you makes you look like you're like a giant compared to someone sitting next to you or standing next to you. So when things like this happen when you are fat, right? There are two types of people who actually love you. One of them is those who will love you for who you are, for how you are built, and for how you choose to grow up or choose to eat or like maintain your own diet. And the second one is when somebody loves you, right? They will actually tell you nicely that yeah, you are kind of like gaining weight, and it is actually not good for you to gain so much weight, because we all know it's not healthy. So there's this misunderstanding between these two types of people, which leads to many uh I would like to say like quarrel or like discussion on the social media. So I wanted to know your opinions on this.
Sakinah, you have something to say about that?
I think I didn't quite get the difference between the two people that Miss Olivia was saying.
Okay, so for example, right, nowadays we see like social media is like something that teenagers do, even adults, and just generally everyone use social media. So I see a lot of people using
Okay.
social media to spread love, to spread positivity and stuff like that, right? But
Yes.
then there's this concept of loving yourself for who you
Mm-hmm.
are. So there's
Mm-hmm.
this model who is actually oversized, who is actually obese. Not
Mm-hmm.
to say oversized, she's actually obese, and her caption is like, "You gotta love yourself," and like stretch marks are okay, your skin color are alright and stuff like that. But the thing is not about skin color and stretch marks and so on. It's actually about her appearance, her body fat, and her body, just how her body looks like. It is actually just obese. So
Okay.
she's actually trying to encourage people to love themselves for who they are, because from what I heard is like she's saying like being fat is okay, but actually it is not okay, because we all know that being fat you will have you'll be more prone to a lot of other chronic diseases or illness and stuff like that. So what are your opinions on this? Like, would you actually believe that social media posts, or will you try to um, think about it yourself and then see if should I really go for what that person is doing? Like, should I just eat and not care about my health and weight and stuff like that, or should I actually work out and eat healthily so that I will not um, nak cakap kasar, I will not die early lah.
Okay, all right. Okay, so thank you for your situation that you were describing, Miss Olivia. Responding to that, I think as much as we want to make changes to other people's appearance or body size, like you say, it is true that it's not healthy to be obese, but we never know like what is that person is going through in their life for them to be in that stage, for them to be obese. And for that person to post on social media that it is okay to be fat, or like it is okay to be happy with your appearance, is for the persons to change the narrative that the media is portraying, which is the unrealistic standards that you have to be sexually attractive. I'm sorry if I'm saying it a bit direct, but I'm gonna say it straight away. It's okay to have big boobs. It's okay to have big ass. You need to have big ass. You need to have big boobs. You need to be sexy. That is the unrealistic standard that the media is portraying. So what if she's trying to imply that you don't have to be those kind of type of body to be proud of your body? It is okay to have stretch marks. It is okay to post your pictures if you're fat. You don't necessarily have to be skinny in order to post your pictures. You don't necessarily have to be fair to post your pictures. So I think for the person to spread love and positivity on social media, it is okay. And for us to comment on her type of body, we can do that, but in a very positive manner. But what we see nowadays is people do it in a derogatory opinion, in very insulting manner, without actually having a productive discourse. You are saying this person is fat just for the purpose of insulting that person, instead of telling that person that you have to reduce your weight so that you don't have negative consequences to yourself. I think one thing that we know is that everyone knows the negative effects of being obese. Everyone knows that this is not okay. But I think it is that person's choice, what that person wants to do with her body or his body. As a person or as a stranger from the outside, we can encourage them to be healthy and not obsessive with their looks. I hope that answers your question, Miss Olivia.
If possible, may I add something to that?
Yes.
Yes, sure.
Yes, Mr. Sapwan.
I think the most important thing about body shaming and gaining confidence is basically it's practically simple to just listen to yourself and listen to your body instead of listening to what other people has to say about yourself, what other people has to say about your body. Because like, okay, you can read all the information, you can read all the positive quotes and motivation quotes on the internet about how to portray yourself, how to show yourself to the world. But at the end of the world, it's just all about you. Because if you feel that you are gaining weight, so you just have to start the healthy diet, start exercising, and start practicing a healthy lifestyle. But then if nobody says anything, if nobody, like what Sarah said at the beginning of this forum, is sometimes we just tend to overthink about something. Just maybe for example, like Allia, maybe like someone just sparked the fire with saying something like, "Hey Allia, you look fat today," and then you go home and then you just start thinking, "Oh, people calling me fat," and then is it my ass, is it my boob, is it my body, is it my arm? And then you just start worrying about unnecessary things. So and just listen to yourself and look yourself in the mirrors. If you feel that you are unhealthy, you do something about it. But that's just my way of dealing it, because like I think Allia, Sarah, Sakinah, Paarveen, Kaanchana, me, I think most of us here are here today because we have at least experienced or at least seen someone dear to our lives experiencing body shaming. Okay, so I mean everyone has the different way of dealing with. So I think yeah, that's my way. Maybe it could help other people to deal with as well. Okay, back to you, Sarah. If your internet is okay.
So,
Yes, that's very true. Like everyone has. I guess it's okay. Is it okay?
A
Yeah,
bit
it
laggy,
is.
but
Okay,
A
thank
bit
God.
like
Excuse me, can I elaborate on the point, please?
sure.
Yes, sure, Miss Kaanchana.
So I think you can advise people for and encourage them to look better for their health and not insult them for their appearance or even look down at them because they look the way they are. So as so you shouldn't like look down on them because they look fat or they look thin. So you should actually encourage them if you love them from the bottom of your heart. You should encourage them for their health. You can tell them like eating too much sugar will make you fat or it will make you have diabetes or anything. So you shouldn't like insult them in a rough way by telling like you look so fat. So that is wrong. So advice and encouragement are actually okay for people who you want to tell to because you shouldn't like deliberately body shame them, but it's okay to advise them.
Okay. Uh, Sarah is still trying, niggling with some problems there. Okay. Maybe we can look at my question there. Which one do you find more hurtful, written or verbal body shaming?
may I give an opinion on that?
Sure, sure. Why not?
So there's pros and cons on verbal, and another one is
Written.
verbal and written. So if written, let's say like WhatsApp, they suddenly tell you, hey, that you are fat, you have to gain down the weight. We don't know how the expression they tell in the written way, but in verbal, we can know if they are insulting or they are advising us by their tone and how they talk to us. So there's pros and cons, but in the texting way, maybe you can use emojis or you can voice. So that's my opinion on verbal and written body shaming.
Alia,
Um,
maybe? Or Sakina?
it's okay, Allia can go first.
okay, I'll go first. Because I receive both. I receive both. To me, verbal is always hurtful rather than written humiliation because I agree with the latest point that you can read the expression when someone is body shaming you verbally because it's there. You cannot twist your thoughts to like um, people doesn't mean it that way because that's their facial expression. That's what they are saying. So you cannot tell yourself to feel better on it. So for me, it's always verbal body shaming that is more hurtful than the others. Um, okay, Miss Akina?
Yeah, I just wanted to add to Miss Alia's point and also Mr. Paarveen's point. Um, yes, verbal is more hurtful than written, and we should actually take written body shaming to our advantage because in Malaysia, body shaming is actually a cyberbullying crime. You can report or lodge a report to this to police or to Malaysian Communications and Multimedia Commission. Be brave about this. Screenshot it and send it to them, and the offenders can be fined 50,000 ringgit or imprisonment for a year or both. So you should take written body shaming to your advantage by doing so.
I'm taking
That's-
Miss Sakinah's note, doing that letter.
That would be scary.
Can I elaborate on Miss Sakinah's point?
Yes, go
Yeah,
ahead,
sure.
Miss Kaanchana.
So if you ask me, is written or verbal body shaming more hurtful? I think verbal is more hurtful because verbal you can and it's more straightforward and you can feel their tone and their facial expression. You can see them that how much they're hurting you. But there is another type of body shaming that exists, not only written and verbal. There's also another one called action. Like people like deliberately pointing out to other people that you are fat or you are thin or too fat. So it's like they're deliberately telling other people that you are not a perfect person, so that they are like telling other people that you are not good the way you are. So I think that is more hurtful because it's you're not receiving the comment but you just overheard it, or like you are being criticized. So I think that is the most hurtful type of body shame. Thank you.
Sometimes it's very very confusing. I'm not agreeing to this, but I can understand why people body shame those who come with bigger package, bigger size, something like that. But then I just don't get it. Why it also happened to slim and thin people? I mean, like Kaanchana. Okay. For Kaanchana is a different issue which we are going to discuss later. But maybe for Sakinah, yeah. I mean, looking at your face right now, I can tell that you are kind of like in a good shape. You're kind of like in this, yeah, you are slim, something like that. So I mean, why does that still happen to you?
Okay. First of all, I think thank you, Mr. Safwan. I think you were complimenting me. I take that as a compliment.
Yeah.
I think people use this as personal attack, especially if you are a family member or friends. That's why I said that when people don't have a way to find a productive discourse,
Yes.
this is the easiest way to attack someone, and to hurt that person. You attack their personal appearance, you attack their skin color, because like there's nothing we can do. There's little to nothing that we can do about our skin color, and or like sometimes appearance. You cannot just change in one day to be skinnier. You cannot just change in one day to be fatter if that person is skinny shaming. So I think this is something that we should change in our society, because it is normalized in our society. It is okay to make this kind of derogatory opinions. And I think we should start with our education. We should start talking more about this at school, and we should start about this at home as well. I think parents should emphasize on this to their kids as young as 4 to 5 years old. Yeah, so I think that's why, Mr. Safwan, it's personal attack.
Okay, back to you, Sarah.
Okay, so that's very true, Ms. Sakinah. And why is it hard for someone to overcome this problem? Like when someone is body shamed, why is it hard for them to come over that? So, Ms. Sakinah?
I think this point might be repetitive, but I think it is worth mentioning until our society makes a change about this, because we don't talk about this enough. We think that we shouldn't overthink about this, but yes, it is true we shouldn't overthink about this, but this does not affect every person in the same way. Some people went into severe depression. My own friend fainted almost every day in 2 weeks because she was called by her friends, "You look like someone who's pregnant," because her body size is not the ideal size. But bear in mind, like there's no ideal size. Everything is okay. And she actually went into severe depression. She was actually diagnosed with depression because of this. So yes, we can say that we shouldn't overthink about this, but we have to bear in mind that the effect is not the same on everyone. Some people can take this strongly, some people can't, and some people can fight back with positivity. Some people just have to keep silence because they don't have the energy to fight back. And when this happens, because answering your question, Sarah, that why it is hard for someone to overcome this problem, because they don't have enough support. They don't know who to refer to. They don't know who will listen to them, or that person will just become another person who take this as a joke. What we can do as a society is to provide a safe space for everyone, whether it is your friend, whether it's your social media follower. I think we need to talk more about this, because I think the more we talk, the more that people think that you are the right person to talk about this, and you can help them go through this issue. Yeah. And another thing that I think we should add is that law enforcement as well. But I will talk about this later.
Sarah is freezing again. All right. Okay, I'll move on with the next part.
Okay.
Oh,
So
are you
anyone want
back?
to add up more about this?
Clan is slow, bro. Come again, Sarah.
Do anyone want to add up more on this point where Ms. Sakinah said?
No. It's a hard question. Someone to overcome it.
Miss Sakinah, can I add on to your point?
Yes, please.
So I think why is body shaming so hard for people to get over with is because most critical comments are coming from other people's heart, and the victims will also take it seriously. They will take it to heart. They will believe that what the bullies say are true. So I think this is the main reason why body shaming is so hard to brush off. And I think body shaming, like if you really want to change yourself, you should change it because you want to, because your heart tells you to do so, not because you receive bad comments or negative comments from the bullies. If you really love yourself and your body, and you really want to, from the bottom of your heart, to change your appearance, and you know it's for the better, it should come from the heart, and you will do it because you want to, not because of the negative comments.
Done. So
I think Mr. Sarah has went missing.
Sarah. So okay. So I will talk about why is it hard for someone to overcome this problem. So why I think that is hard for them is because they take the comments into their heart. They don't think about it because they don't filter it. They just take the comment and put it in their heart, and they will overthink about the problem, and they will be always thinking 24/7, thinking about the comment that the other person gave, and they cannot overcome it. So the tip is, if someone is body shaming you, is in Malay they say masuk telinga kanan keluar telinga kiri. So because we don't have to take that body shaming fully as a criticize to our body shape. If they tell us they are fat, maybe we are fat, but we are beautiful in a fat way. Sarah, back to you.
That's true. Yes, that's true. So who do you think should help the victims, and like who should take the actions to help these victims? So Ms. Kaanchana?
To me, this question, if you ask me, the first person I would go to if I was body shamed, because I am actually a victim of body shame too. So if you ask me this, the first person I would go to is my sister, because my sister is actually the closest to me and she understands me the way I am. So she gives me all the positive comments and she tells me why that I am beautiful and why the negative comments are actually wrong about me. And she has the patience, and because she is also almost the same age as me, so maybe she can understand like how our friends treat us and how we should react. So the second party, I think it should be the parents, because our parents understand us because we are their children. So they will understand us more, they will know about our body, they know what we are going through, and they love us the way we are. So they can help us through body shaming, they can tell us that the victims are actually wrong, and they are criticizing comments actually doesn't mean anything at all. So the third party is maybe the school counseling, because the school counseling helps students and understand how kids our age or teenagers our age, what are we all going through. So I think the school counseling is the third best party we can go to, because the teachers there know how to deal with almost every problem, like body shaming or like bullying. So they can teach us the ways like how we can communicate with our bullies, or even how to straight off like fight with them, not fight, I don't mean fight, like talk back to them, like tell them that we are beautiful and their comments doesn't mean anything to us. So I think these three parties are the main parties that students or kids can go to if they are getting body shamed. Mr. Sarah, back to you, please.
It froze again.
What can we do as a friend for me?
Okay. There is someone saying that I have a question here from Mr. Anyang. What can we do as a friend or family if someone has become a victim of body shaming, other than comforting them, and what we have to be aware of when we are trying to comfort them or motivate them? What are the further steps for us to other than comforting them? What's the next step would be?
Can I answer this question?
Okay, sure.
Okay, this is something quite personal for me, but I think it's worth sharing. So I grew up with severe scoliosis, which means that my spine have a little curve, but for me it's not little, it's big. It's a major curve, and I won't say weird, like, but it's a weird body shape lah compared to other people. So as a victim myself, what I want from other people around me is that I wanted to be understood. But knowing that you cannot force everyone to understand. Okay, because to some people that's just weird. Or I even receive comments like I'm saying nonsense, things like that does not happen. Actually, there are people who says that to me. So as a victim myself, what I want from my friends and family is for them to be understanding. You have to understand that there's a lot of body shaming stuff that people says to you. Is you cannot change that, like skin color or body sizes, like kerangka badan punya body sizes. It's not things that you can change. So you just have to be more understanding, and then it's okay. So don't surround yourself with people who does not understand you, because that's like if orang Melayu cakap keluar mulut, oh my god, I don't remember, but keluar mulut something goes into another mulut that is more dangerous lah. So just go and surround yourself with people who understands you. Don't go around and trying to prove yourself that it's okay. Unless you have enough courage to do so, then that's okay. If not, you better be in a place and in a zone where people accept you. Or as a family or friends, you can be the one who provides safe space to others. Providing safe space to others is not easy. It really is not easy. Like, okay, you imagine someone every day wanting to talk to you about their insecurities. If once or twice might be okay, right? So although it's not easy, but please do. You will provide more than enough security and whatever positive things that you could think of. So be understanding and provide people with what they need. You might as well find someone who will do that for you if you do that for other people as well.
Yeah, I agree with Miss Alia's points. May I add a few things from that, if that's okay with you?
Totally okay.
Okay, all right. I think adding to your point where you have to surround yourself with people with positive opinions, or like people with positive energy, I think we should curate our social media content and make sure that our social media is not toxic. And yes, sometimes you can take a break from social media by deactivating your account if that's too much for you to take. But one constant thing that you can do is that curate your social media content from time to time. Unfollow or block people who you think are spreading negative energy to you. If you don't have the energy to talk back to that person, you just unfollow and block. Follow positive accounts. Follow accounts that give you the energy to talk about this, to stand up for yourself. And if this happens to any of your friends, as changes start with us, we should take this as a way to stand up for them, call out these people for their behaviors, so that body shame is no longer a normalized thing in our society.
I totally agree with Miss Sakinah's point, but can I add another point to it?
Yes.
Sure.
So I think just now Mr. Safwan said that first thing is like if other people start like telling you it's okay and go and pujot them. So I think the next thing to do after this, after you get help from others, the second thing I think is having confidence in yourself. So can you guys like put out your hand like this, and hold your little finger like this. Hold it tight.
Which one?
Hold it tight. Now try to move your other fingers like this. Can you feel that your other fingers are becoming weak?
Yes.
Like it doesn't have the strength anymore. Okay, so imagine that this little finger is yourself, okay? And this finger, what if this finger feels like, oh no, I'm small. I'm way smaller than the ring finger and the index finger. What if it feels like that and it starts becoming weak and doesn't have confidence anymore? So the whole hand loses its power. So that goes the same to us. If we don't have the confidence, our whole life, our whole body will get destroyed. So I think confidence is the main key to this. So I think if people have confidence in themselves, then body shaming isn't really a matter anymore. Because confidence is actually giving you the strength and telling yourself that you're beautiful the way you are. Thank you.
Okay, we seem have to lost Mr. Sarah. And I'll just keep going through. Okay, let's talk about something a little bit more sensitive, but it is something that we have to really discuss about it. Okay, someone posted body shaming can also be related to racism, something related to about race. Okay, yeah, I mean, I grew up in a multicultural society. I grew up having friends, Chinese friends, Indian friends, and from all sorts of races. And yep, it has become like what Miss Sakinah has said. It has normalized in our society. You know, bila perkataan hitam is related to the Indian society. And then kau ni mata sepit, Cina bukit, something like that. All these words, I grew up listening to that. And yeah, I mean, it has also become the source for the people to body shame others. So what is your opinion to this? And I mean, where does this all begin? Does it come from home, or does it come from school, or from the circle of friends they belong to?
Can I answer this question, Mr. Safwan?
Sure. I know you experience this a lot throughout the lives. Come on.
Yes, sir. So let me tell a bit of my background story. So I grew up like my primary school was a Chinese school. So I was like surrounded with mostly Chinese people. Like all my friends are Chinese. Even now I have a lot of Chinese friends. So when I was in primary school, I actually didn't know why, because that time I was still a kid and I didn't understand why they are doing this, They start body shaming me and they start pinggirkan me, Like I'm sitting there and they will just like go to another side. And one really hurtful thing I heard is, when standard 6 we have we have to draw things or that. One of the Chinese girls said, "Ew, I don't want an Indian girl in my team because the standard 1, the smaller kids will get scared." So that time I was like really hurt. Like, why would they say that? Like, why is that important? Is skin color so important? And so even now when I'm in secondary school, I hear like what Mr. Safwan said just now a lot. Like if Indian people they call things, and Chinese people they call things like that. Even like every race they receive like negative comments. So I think this thing actually starts from home. Like parents do not give their children proper education that under the skin everyone is the same. Under our skin we are all human. We are all same together as a human, and humanity is more important. So I think this actually starts from home, where parents maybe are just too busy to educate their kids that this is wrong and it is hurtful. So once they grow up, they think that doing this is right. They think this is something funny. They think if they do this, they'll have more friends. They think they do this, they'll become more cool. So I think this actually starts from home. So I think this is really hurtful and it shouldn't occur anymore.
I agree with Miss Kaanchana. If that's okay with you, I have something to add from what you said.
Okay.
Yeah, I agree with 100% with what you said. I think this lack of awareness at home from telling our children that what they might face in their life is what they most probably don't see coming. For example, is skin color. And also because of the media, what the media portray to us, the narrative that most what we see on the TV are white people or like fair-skinned people. We don't see enough portrayal of black people or dark skin color people, and because of this, I think I read in a book that a child raised in a white neighborhood, when she saw someone who was black, she was scared. She didn't want to talk to that black person, and just because of the skin color. So what the narrative that you are used to, what you see in your people, this is normal because whatever we see out of what we used to see, we might react differently, and parents should talk to their children. When you grow up, you will see people of different skin colors. You will grow up seeing people with different body sizes from you, and you need to know that it is not okay to make negative comments on these people, because like what Ms. Kaanchana said, under our skin color, we are all human, we are all the same. So this is awareness that we have to spread since we are young, so that we know that what is right and what is wrong. Because after all, we grow up not knowing what is right and wrong. This narrative is ingrained in our society.
I have a question to ask. So you say that trying to educate the community to accept that being different in skin color is okay, but how can we really implement this concept in our education, especially from young, from primary school? Because sometimes now you can see that we have different kind of school, like we have Chinese primary school, Tamil primary school, and also sekolah kebangsaan.
Yes.
What can we do to uh, let different group of people to accept the other group of people, but we are not staying in that staying in that kind of community that we are not used to.
Okay,
Um,
Inyam, sorry. I think I have to start giving comments about this first because I believe there are some teachers here and about our education policy. It is not something. It is not something. It is not something that we can give concrete comments because we are not the policy makers, and these our education system has been developed, has been designed for ages, and it has been moderately restructured over the years, but then probably racial sensitivity is not part of it. So I will try my best not to give comments, not technically to attack our education system, but I personally believe that education comes from home. So I totally agree with Ms. Sakina, because like it should be educated from home, because this is story of my daughter, because one day we went out for dinner at a restaurant, and then I ordered her a meal, a noodle, and then it comes with a soy sauce. And then out of nowhere, she just said something like this: "Daddy, I don't want ketchup because when I eat ketchup, it makes my skin black." So when that comes from the mouth of a 3-year-old kid, so it is something. It just give me a big smack to my head, like, oh, I shouldn't. I mean, where did she get that? I mean, so it must come from somewhere else. So I have to sit down and talk to her, and then this is not good. It is not good to say that way. So yeah, I believe education should start from home. It is not about the different type of school that we have in Malaysia. It is not something we as the shareholders of this education system can change. It's all about the policy makers, all the big guns up there. So the best thing that we can do is, we can share the awareness, we can spread the awareness, so that the people out there, the ministers, can see that these situations are happening in our society. So before it gets worse, so they should realize it and change our policy. But then the best thing that we can do is we should start educating ourselves, our family members, our friends, like what the rest of you have said. Spread positivity through Instagram to society, to the social media and stuff. And hopefully, Rome wasn't built in a day. So maybe our small steps can make a big impact someday.
I agree.
I agree with Mr. Safwan,
Agree.
especially on education starts from home, because you cannot control your surroundings or your children's surroundings. They are not always with you. You also have to go to work and somewhere else, which your surroundings differs from what is at home, and your children's school, except for you are their teachers at school. So it's true, you have to start educating them what's right and what's wrong at home, and normalizing that there are other people of skin colors and races out there. Um, I'm sorry if this is quite sensitive, but we cannot run away from vernacular schools. There are vernacular schools. People send um, their children to vernacular schools, like sending from Malay families to Chinese schools, so on and so forth. But that actually wouldn't be a very big deal of not a normal surrounding for them to have Indians in SJKC, for example. Because if you really teach them that there are people out there There are Chinese, Indians, Iban, kadang I cannot. I'm sorry, suddenly I stutter. There are a lot of other races out there. If you actually talk to them starting at home, it would not be a big problem. Whichever school they go. So because it's normal. Biasalah. It's a biasalah thing. We have to make it a biasalah thing, like Sakinah said, because our society does not normalize this. Especially our general public also does not normalize this. If you watch television shows, I wouldn't say which show in particular, but often every week they would always make fun of body sizes and skin color and races. Even if someone who is Malay is quite dark, they would be called with racial slurs of Indians. Walhal, it's normal for Malay to have darker skin tones too. So it's actually the problem is out there, not how we can control it, but how we can. No, we can actually control it, but like us, like just students, we cannot go and tell television and networking people to stop doing that because that's where they get their money. But we can start by telling other people that it's totally okay to have different skin tones, to come from different races. It's not a problem. If people making it a problem, then they are the problem. So I will always repeat what Miss Sakinah said. We have to make body shaming something not normal, not a biasalah thing. Okay, back to you, Mr. Safwan or Mr. Sarah or Mr.
I want to add something.
Yeah, Paarveen, continue.
Okay, so where you can Google the doll test. There's a test about they will put a black doll and a white doll in front of a kid, and they will tell the kid to choose which one is the bad doll. And unfortunately, the kid will choose the black doll because the mindset in the children, the black is a scary color, and they see a human with a darker skin, they think they are scary because of their skin. What we have to do is we have this, the parent have to implement in home that there are various skin colors in even in Malaysia. We have Indian, Chinese, Kadazan Dusun, Iban, and many more cultures in Malaysia, and we have to show them, maybe show the kids the pictures of how how do they look like. They are not bad because everything starts at home because children goes to primary school at 7 years old or 8 years old, and every parent should take responsibility to teach their children and not always bawang about someone in front of their kids because the kid will remember that thing because budak-budak senang tangkap benda, so dia akan ingat benda tu. Sebab tu that's why we have to be positive. We have to be teaching our children about other races and other cultures. Back to you, Anyang.
Yeah, totally agree. Because I think now we can't control what our ancestors or because all of us, especially in Malaysia, we come from different backgrounds and we but we go through the from different countries, and maybe when they come to this country they didn't get used to the community they are in, and they started to call names about other races or other skin colors that they thought they are correct. And what we should do as a new generation is that maybe we can try to stop this kind uh, of the names that has been called by our elders to us, and we should try to stop all and try to educate our kids that it is okay to to have people of different kind of skin color, and we must expose them to this different kind of community or different kind of people so that they get used to it and they feel like what Miss Allia said, that being in a community of different kind of races is a biasa thing.
Like, can I add up something here?
Yeah, Sarah's back.
I would like to add up some things in this. First thing, we should avoid that we humiliate ourselves. Like me, being a black skinned person, I should avoid humiliating myself as a black skinned person, because this will give the others a chance to humiliate us, because they think that this is a biasa thing lah, biasa lah thing. Because if we do it to ourselves, then why not they do it to us, right? So I guess all the questions are over, but we can still get the questions from the audience, because now we are opening the Q&A session from the audience. So the audience, you guys can go to the comment section and post your questions, and please put in the brackets who you want to ask the questions, or you can straight away open your microphone and ask your questions. Okay, for the panelists, tell us any of your stories that you have been humiliated for your physical appearance, and how did you overcome that?
Can I share a few stories of mine?
Yes, sure.
Can I start off? Okay, so this also happened when I was in primary school. So I was like with my desk mate, he was like sitting beside me, and then we were just casually talking about things, about homework and about school. And then suddenly he just brought up the topic like, how will you look like in the dark? Like if you are in the dark, I bet you can only see your teeth and your eyes. So I thought that time, like, isn't it same for everyone? Like if you're in the dark, everyone is like that, right? So I just straight off told him that everyone is the same. It's not just dark-skinned people. We are all the same in the dark. So we are all human inside too. And another story is that when I was in Form 2, I think, now I'm in Form 4, when I was in Form 2, I started having all these scars on my legs because, mosquito, they usually bite me and I scratch it into like a scar, it becomes a scar. So my leg has a few scars. So like there was once, I think my friend told me like, why is your leg so dirty? Didn't you wash it? And I told her that this wasn't dirt, this was actually scar. Then she said, oh, scars look so black in dark-skinned people. She said that. So after that, I thought, yeah, because she was a Chinese and scars usually look great in Chinese people, so she didn't know. So I just like brushed it off because she didn't know. And the last, actually not the last case, but the last case I'm sharing with you all is my hair. My hair, I'm actually born with fine hair. I don't have like the thick volumed hair. I have fine hair and quite thin. So sometimes, if I go out, it becomes like a static globe. It doesn't like become so kemas and all. It becomes a bit messy. So usually my friend, she's actually one of my best friends, but I don't know why she said that. She said that I was just sitting beside her and she told me, wow, you don't have much hair, do you? And why is your hair so messy? Don't you brush it in the morning? And this critical comment I also received in many places, to be honest, also at home. So this has been going on for quite a while. People has been telling me that, why is your hair so thin? Like, don't you wash it properly? Don't you use conditioner? So now I started standing up for myself. I started standing up and say, it's okay. It's not your hair. It's my hair. And I love it the way it is. So sometimes it's like that. And I use conditioner. I try my best to protect my hair, to make it look healthy. But then I don't do it because of the comments. I do it because I want to. I want my hair to be healthy. So I started standing up for myself, and that made me feel way much more better these days. So that's my part. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Kaanchana. And how about the other panelists? Do you guys have any of these experiences?
Of
Uh,
course. I mean,
sure, you
Alia.
can go first.
Okay, thank you.
Okay.
So I usually have it. I'm 17, but my height is 183 cm.
Oh.
That's
Uh,
actually very
that's
tall.
that's the problem. That's the problem there. In school, I will be called pengetua or anything from the teachers and friends. I take it as a joke because I don't know. I really love to mingle with my teachers and friends, and whether when I go into I wear coat, my suit, when I go into the teachers' bilik guru, and they will be like surprised. Oh, I thought you were from KPM. Oh, no, no, no. Then the teachers will be joking around me like I don't take it as that as body shaming
Mm-hmm.
because I take that comment and my my ambition is to become a politician or whether a scientist. So that is a right way to go there because they are telling me that I'm a KPM minister, that so on, so on. I take that and I turn it into a positive thing and I keep it in me. So other thing is same with Kaanchana that going into a dark room that will be lost. I get that thing a lot because I love to go camping. So you know how what happens in camping. At the night when you close off the lamps and you say, "Hey, Paarveen hilang." I was like, then I will laugh along with them because, but a bit hurt, but I don't take it too much in my heart. I just take it because they are friends. I don't attack them back.
Yeah, but they
Because
should know that
sometimes,
it's not okay for them to say that to you.
yes, of course, some of them I will try to tell them because I will try to tell them to shut up, and eventually they will.
Next time, if someone says that to you, you should just tell them, unless their skin glows in the dark, they can say that. If not, they can shut up.
Yes.
Um,
So how about the other panelists? Miss Alia?
um, okay, I shared this with Mr. Safwan when I first talked to him. So I shared about it just now, and I see there's a lot of my friends from high school. Miss Sakinah too came from the
Yes.
same high school, so she knows a bit or not about this. So um, I was often body shame for my scoliosis lah. Most I think some maybe some of you in this forum also has same problem as me. So that's something that I cannot change. So if you cannot grasp what is scoliosis, let's just say my waistline is not symmetrical. My waist is one side higher than the other. So when I was in form 4, I think this one affected me the most lah. So that's why I remember when I was in form 4, um, this come from my teachers. So I it's really hurtful to think until now that a photo of me wearing my skirt, kan, student Melayu kan pakai skirt and kain. Um
Mm-hmm.
one side is shorter than the other, and then it becomes a talk among some teachers, not all, just some. But because of that some, it's really hurtful because I think that these people are the one who should give me more positive insights of um my problem. They shouldn't be the one who says this. So I think there's a lot of teachers in this too, and younger teacher or older teacher. I think teachers in schools should also play bigger roles in preventing body shaming because sometimes at school you can always talk back to your friends. It's okay, but can you talk back to your teachers? Of course not. You should have to. You should laugh it off, laugh with them, even though it's hurtful. So this thing does not occur to me only once. Even when I went to college, to form 6, I also received the same. They would call me mengada-ngada lah kau ni because I cannot tie my own shoes. They would just say kau ni besar je, tu pun tak boleh buat. I got that. So I think it's important to realize that not everyone around you is as capable as you are. So if you really if you cannot tahan yourself from body shaming others, try to think of there's always something behind what you physically see. I also get a lot of fats lah. If you want to ask me about that, about being fat kan, there's always lah. I think that is the most significant humiliation that I've received in life. Other than being called, I'm always being called besi girl. Not in the same school with Sakinah, other school. They always call me that because I always, I have besi body braces inside me and they know that. It's funny once or twice, not funny anymore. Not funny anymore. So receiving that and living with that is not cool. And I didn't receive any in university. So I kind of believe that somehow when people grow up, they also grow out of it.
Yeah.
So for
Okay, Miss Allia.
yeah.
So thank you for that sharing. And there's actually a question for me and for you guys as well.
Yes.
And the first thing is, is it not an opportunity for someone else to comment on your skin color? As someone with a dark skin tone, when you yourself like feel being dark is an insecurity. So Miss Charisma, actually, I will admit to people that I am dark, but I will never admit to them that being dark is an insecurity to me. At first, when I got humiliated, I was worried that they are humiliating, but I was not worried that I was dark. And next, isn't it better for someone to admit and say it out how much they feel like they are proud and happy, comfortable in their own skin? Yes, that's very true. Like now, myself, I'm actually going on a campaign like I'm spreading that hashtag called Black is Bay and Black is Beautiful, which is actually even I post a Instagram picture of mine or Instagram story of mine, WhatsApp status, I will just put the hashtag Black is Beautiful, because to tell them that I am proud of who I am and I'm not feeling any insecurities being in my own skin. And the next question is, what is your opinion on there are some brands which use so-called ideal type models, which as an argument to protect or maintain their brands. For example, Victoria's Secret was once criticized because they refused to recreate bigger size models to maintain their image. Does it actually count as body shaming as well? So, Miss Sakina?
Okay. Thank you so much, Sarah, for speaking out the question, and thank you, Ani Sophia, for the question. To me, yes, that is a type of body shaming, but not directly, indirectly. This is the narrative that the media wants us to see, that the unrealistic standards that they want us to have. So from this, children learn that, oh, this is the type of body that we should have. This is the ideal size. People should condemn the companies for doing this, and the NGOs should take part in this. People should have more representation of Black people, of people with stretch marks, of people with of different body sizes, not with just one type of body size, which is skinny. And I think this is one thing that we should do. And I think when I was in the UK, actually, in the UK, they have this a lot already. They have advertisement in front of their shops of Black people, of people with so-called excessive body fats, people with stretch marks. This is normal in the UK to have these people as part of their advertisements. And I think we are going in the right direction. It is time for us in Malaysia to have this representation of people as part of the advertisement, because whatever the media portrays to us, they have a very big impact on in our lives. Because like I said, not everyone is comfortable talking about this, and because of this, whatever we see fit into us, whatever that is being fed to us, we accept that. And yeah, answering to your question, yeah, I think that is a type of body shaming, but not directly, indirectly. And also, I think Fenty Beauty is a cosmetic brand that actually provide foundations for people of darker skin color, because we see in our society foundations are just made for people with fair skin. So this is, I think, we are going in the right direction. And for us to talk more about this, for us to have more representations of minorities, I would say, will help us to get into the right direction. And yeah.
Can I add
So
something,
thank you so
Miss
much,
Sakinah?
Miss Sakinah. Yes, sure, Miss Allia.
I think what Miss Sakinah says is totally true. I agree with that. And I also think that for that to happen in Malaysia, people in our country needs to start supporting these brands that actually advertises people with various skin colors and body sizes, and making them a normal or a common brand in our country, instead of something that is only advertisement. Like some of the brands that I see that has very that is friendly to all skin colors are like local Utira. Utira is very skin colors friendly. I think we should like start to really giving supports to them, so that they will go into the mainstream market, instead of something that is hard to get, or you can only get them online. So that is one of the way to normalize different skin colors in our society, like what the Westerners did to Fenty Beauty.
Yes.
Yeah, Fenty Beauty wouldn't become that big if people did not support them. So we have to do the same. Back to you, Mr. Sarah.
Yes, thank you so much, Miss Alia. And I guess the Q&A session is closed now. So for the viewers, I will send you the link to get your certificate, and I'll put it in the comment section. So please go into that, answer the questions, and get your certificates. So to the panelists, Miss Alia, Miss Sakinah, Miss Kaanchana, and Mr. Paarveen, thank you so much for spending your time with us and spreading this awareness. And please do continue this spreading awareness thing everywhere you go, because this is the best and effective way to prevent this.
Okay.
Okay.
I just want to say thank you for this opportunity, and my DMs are always open if any of you wants to talk about this issue or any other issues.
Before we end this, can I add a few positive quotes so that people will feel more better about themselves, if it's okay with the others?
Yes.
Sure.
Yes, please. Yes.
So I prepared some quotes. So if people body shame you, so just don't take it too hard and think that what some people think is ugly, others think is beautiful. So you can think that. And another thing is you can speak up for yourself and tell them that you love your body the way you are and you will do nothing to change it, because that's what makes you you. So if you change it, that isn't you anymore. So I think that's it. And thank you for giving me this opportunity to talk in YESTalk.
I wanna add something. So thank you very much to Sarah, Safwan, and STK Student Leaders Board for giving me opportunity to speak up about body shaming and confidence. And I'm putting a link on the comment there. You can give me a feedback to me. You can write anything. If you have problem, you can write it back. You can write your name on that. Give me feedback. And thank you.
And from me, I'm thankful for this opportunity. Of course, thank you, Mr. Safwan. And thank you, other panelists, for your great opinions. I feel like another window is open for me, and I'm sorry if I've said something harsh, especially there are teachers in this. I'm sorry if anything does not sits quite right with you. And I hope that whatever we share today will become a stepping stone for everyone who are listening to make a change on body shaming in our society. We can do better, and that's for sure. Thank you from me.
And yeah, thank you so much for everyone and the panelists. And thank you again. The session ends now. Thank you.
Thank you for joining.
Thank you.
Thank you.
You.
dan nasihat Kementerian Kesehatan Malaysia KKM Majlis Keselamatan.
I'm just going to see everyone leave.
Hi, Allia, since you are here now,
Yes.
I would like to say that your opinions were really great just now, and it's really helped me. And I know after hearing yours and the other panelists' opinion, I can really how I can now know how to speak up to the bullies, and I can really understand myself more now. And like you said, all these positive comments has become a stepping stone for me so that I can love myself and be more positive about my body in the future.
Sure. Thanks, Kaanchana. And I want you to know that once you go and study in university, there will hardly be any comments on stuff like this anymore because people are minding their own business unless they are total a-hole, and that's another case.
Yeah.
Just make sure that you go to universities that provides a lot of access to international students because the surroundings are totally different. Because like I'm in UPM, right? So the ratio of local and university student and international students are about the same. So the surroundings are totally different. Everything is. I haven't got any remarks on my scholarships anymore. Like just once, and that's that. No one calls me fat or anything anymore. Like it's super cool. So you just wait until you get into university and you don't even have to think about it anymore.
Yeah,
It's like
yes, Ali. I think
sabarlah pergi sekolah.
it's become more better for me since primary. I think primary was, I think for me it's really bad, like the criticizing comments, and I think it's become better for me since I entered secondary school. People are becoming more positive, and they don't mind you, and people start accepting you the way you are. So I myself has a positive impact, and I myself has more confidence now that I love my body, and I wouldn't change it for the world.
It's okay, Kaanchana. Just they will eventually just grow out of it. You just do whatever you want to do, become a great person for yourself, and just mind your own business. Everything should be fine.
Yes, Alia.
Thank you, Kaanchana. Bye bye.
Bye.